Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the full House General Laws Committee. Clerk, if you can open the roll. All right, clerk, close the roll. We have a quorum. All right, thank you, everybody, for coming out. Today we got 27 bills, which might sound a little daunting, but most of these, if not all, are identical or similar, and so we're going to move through as fast as possible. Before we get into the meat of the agenda, we do have two housekeeping items. So we have two bills that we want to refer to Health and Human Services. We can do this as a block voice vote. They are Senate Bill 513 from Senator Williams Graves dealing with funeral services and transportation protection agreements. And then also Senate Bill 521, also from Senator Williams Graves, dealing with pre-need funeral contracts, declinable pre-need funeral guarantee fee. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, those two bills are referred to Health and Human Services. Okay, so our first block are Senate bills with identical House bills that are uncontested. And so I'm going to read through these as fast as I can. If any member wants to take one of these out of the block, when we get to them, just let me know and we will do that. But otherwise, the idea is to read these off and vote on these in a block. So our first bill is Senate Bill 50. Senator is Senator Locke. This deals with the Virginia Residential Landlord and Tenant Act, Eviction Diversion Pilot Program, expiration date. This is identical to House Bill 477 from Delegate Coiner, which is reported out of this committee 22-0 and passed the House 98-0. The next bill is Senate Bill 89, Patron Senator Locke. This one deals with the Fort Monroe Authority, powers and duties. This is identical to House Bill 1138, Cardoza, which reported from this committee 19-0 and passed the House 100-0. The next bill is Senate Bill 90, also from Senator Locke, dealing with Fort Monroe Authority, land and utility ownership. This bill is identical to House Bill 1139 from Delegate Cardoza, which this committee reported 19-0, and the House passed 99-0. The next bill is Senate Bill 184, Patron Senator Rouse, dealing with the Department of Professional Occupational Regulations, practice of geology, definitions. This bill is identical to House Bill 287, Delegate Wiley, bless you, which is the committee reported 21-0 and the House passed 98-0. The next bill is Senate Bill 213, Patron Senator Perry, dealing with the Virginia Residential Landlord and Tenant Act, early termination for military personnel, which is identical to House Bill 352 from Delegate Glass, which this committee reported 22-0 and the House passed 99-0. Next, we have Senate Bill 244, Patron Senator McPike, dealing with the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, the effective date of procedures for conducting meetings held through electronic communication means during declared states of emergency. This bill is identical to House Bill 816 from Delegate Cherry, which this committee reported 20-0 and the House passed 99-0. The next bill after that is Senate Bill 330, patroned by Senator Jordan, dealing with the Department of Professional and Occupational Regulations, Real Estate Board continuing education requirements for real estate brokers and salespersons. This bill is identical to House Bill 383, Delegate Reeser, which this committee reported 22-0 and the House passed 98-0. Next is Senate Bill 541, patron Senator Bagby, casino gaming, dealing with eligible host cities. This is identical to House Bill 1131 from Delegate Carr, which is subcommittee reported 22-0 and the House passed 100-0. The next bill is Senate Bill 560, patron Senator Hackworth, dealing with Virginia Board of Asbestos, Lead, and Home Inspectors, dust sampling technicians, renovators, and accredited renovation training programs, which is identical to House Bill 10,005 from Delegate Owen, which is committee reported 20-0, and the House passed 100-0. Next is Senate Bill 589, Patron Senator Stanley, dealing with rental conveyances, leases, and assignments. This bill is identical to House Bill 312 from Delegate Gardner, which is committee reported 21-0, and the House passed 98-0. And rounding out the block is the Center for Rural Virginia name change, identical to House Bill 1381 from Delegate Runyon, which is committee reported 20-0, and the House passed 99-0. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, it's properly moved and seconded. Is there any member who wishes to take any bill out of the block? Seeing none, clerk, please open the roll. All right, clerk, close the roll. Those bills report 20-0. All right, our next block are Senate bills with identical House bills that were contested. So the first bill is Senate Bill 182, Patron Senator Rouse, dealing with alcoholic beverage control advertisements. This bill is identical to House Bill 522 from Delegate Krizik, which this committee reported 21-1, and the House passed 93-5. Does any member of the committee have any comments or questions with respect to Senate Bill 182? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to report Senate Bill 182. Clerk, open the roll. Clerk, close the roll. That bill reports 19-1. Next up is Senate Bill 232, Patron Senator Hashmi, dealing with manufactured home parks, residential rights. This bill is identical to House Bill 572 from Delegate Delaney, which reported out of this committee 13-7 and passed the House 57-43. Does any member of the committee wish to make any comments or have any questions?
Move to report.
All right. It's been properly moved and seconded. Clerk, open the roll. All right, that bill reports 0-0. All right, clerk, close the roll. That bill reports 16-4. Our next bill is Senate Bill 426, Patron Senator Deeds, dealing with pari-mutuel wagering, historic horse racing, percentage retained for distribution. This bill is identical to House Bill 843 from Delegate Austin, which this committee reported out 22-0, and the House passed 89-1. Does any member of the committee have any questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion? All right, it's been properly moved to report and second. Clerk, open the roll. Clerk, close the roll. That bill reports 20-0. All right, next up is Senate Bill 538, Patron Senator Bagby, dealing with the Uniform Statewide Building Code violations and fines. This bill is identical to House Bill 578. Patroned by Delegate McQuinn, which this committee reported 17-3, and the House passed 69-30. Does any member of the committee have any comments or concerns? If not, do we have a motion? All right, it's been properly moved to report and seconded. Clerk, open the roll. Clerk, close the roll. That bill reports 16-4. All right, next bill is Senate Bill 635, patroned by Senator Rouse, dealing with alcoholic beverage control, sale and delivery of mixed beverages, and pre-mixed wine for off-premises consumption, third-party delivery license, sunset and repeal. This is identical to House Bill 688 from Delegate Leftwich, which left this committee on a 20-0 vote and passed the full House 81-18. Does any member of the committee have any comments or questions on this bill?
Move to report.
All right, we've got a motion to report and seconded. Clerk, open the roll. All right, clerk, close the roll. That bill reports 18-2. All Our next bill rounding out the block, Senate Bill 734, Patron Delegate or Senator Marsden, Virginia Freedom of Information Act, electronic meetings. This bill is identical to House Bill 894, Delegate Bennett Parker, which this committee reported 22-0 and passed the House 74-26. Does any member of the committee have any comments or questions concerning this bill? If not, do we have a motion?
Move to report.
All right, it's been properly moved to report and second. Clerk, open the roll. All right, clerk, close the roll. That bill reports 20-0. All right, our next block are Senate bills with similar House bills. And these are bills that were uncontested as reported from general laws. So the first one is Senate Bill 344, Patron Senator Reeves, dealing with charitable gaming. This is similar to House Bill 523, Delegate Krizik, which this committee reported 22-0, and the House passed 97-3. Council has prepared a substitute to conform Senate Bill 344 to House Bill 523.
Move the
if I can get a
substitute.
motion on the substitute. All right, it's properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of the substitute say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. All right, the substitute's before us. Does any member of the committee have any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
Move to report.
Second. All right,
With
so it's
substitute.
been moved and reported or seconded to report the substitute. Clerk, open the roll. All right, clerk, close the roll. That bill reports with substitute 20-0. Our next bill is Senate Bill 437, Patron Senator Suderline, dealing with the Department of Professional and Occupational Regulations, real estate brokers, places of business. Similar to House Bill 1237, Delegate Willett, which this committee reported 20-0, and the House passed 100-0. The council has prepared a substitute to conform Senate Bill 437 to House Bill 1237. Do I have a motion on the substitute?
Move the substitute.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, the substitute is properly before us. Does any member of the committee have questions or comments on Senate Bill 437?
Move to report with substitute.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to report with substitute. Clerk, open the roll. All right, clerk, close the roll. That bill reports with substitute 20-0. All right, the next bill is Senate Bill 526, Patron Senator Williams Graves, dealing with the Resale Disclosure Act, delivery of resale certificates and remedies. This is similar to House Bill 876 from myself, which this committee reported 22-0, and the House passed 98-0. The council has prepared a substitute to conform Senate Bill 526 to House Bill 876 with one technical amendment included in the substitute.
Move the substitute with technical amendment.
All right, do I have a second? Okay, all those in favor of the substitute, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, the substitute is properly before us. Does any member of the committee have any questions or comments on this bill?
Move to report with substitute.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to report the substitute. Clerk, open the roll. All right, clerk, close the roll. That bill reports with substitute 20-0. Next bill is Senate Bill 576, Patron Senator Eben, Consumer Protection, Creation of Unfair Real Estate Services Agreement Act. This is similar to House Bill 1243 from Delegate Maldonado, which this committee reported 20-0 and passed the House 98-2. The council has prepared a substitute to conform Senate Bill 576 to House Bill 1243. Do I have a motion? All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to adopt the substitute. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Does any member of the committee have any questions or comments with respect to Senate Bill 576?
Move to report the substitute.
All right, it's been properly moved to report the substitute. Clerk, open the roll. Clerk, close the roll. That bill reports with a substitute 19-0. Next up, we have Senate Bill 649, Patron Senator Salim, Line of Duty Act, Payment of Benefits. This is similar to House Bill 321 from Delegate McQuinn, which this committee reported and referred to appropriations 21-0, and the House passed 96-0. I do not believe we have a letter from appropriations on this.
Mr. Chairman?
So we would need a motion to conform or adopt a substitute to conform.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Before we do that, I think we might need to hear from the patron of this bill. See if you can maybe help us understand what the differences are between the House and the Senate versions.
All right,
I know that we've heard from Senator Salim before.
Senator Salim, I get the sense that maybe your bill has a fever, but we'll see. So Delegate Simon.
And thank you, Delegate Simon, for bringing it up. The real difference between the two is that it was passed in both chambers is the benefits amount. On the Senate side, we originally asked what the House had, 100,000, but went up to 50 rather than the full 100. And of course, the House chamber did it where it went up to 100, the original ask.
And so, Mr. Chairman, Delegate, can I ask the Senator a question?
Delegate Simon.
So I'd ask the Senator, it looks like this bill first came into play in December of 2005. I'd ask the Senator how old he was in 2005.
Mr. Chair, to the delegate from Falls Church, I was 15.
Ooh. Delegate Simon.
Mr. Chairman, I think I'm satisfied with that explanation, although I think we'd prefer the House version, which was much more generous to the firefighters. And so I hope that we could move the substitute that would conform this otherwise good bill to the much better House version of the bill.
I
do have a question for the senator, and so I guess based on the fact that we are doubling the benefit to our firefighters, can you tell me which body loves their firefighters more?
Mr. Chair, that is a tough position to be put on since I'm in this chamber today, or at least this body. I will include this body that loves the firefighters, and including myself, who have been very generous to me over the years.
Very good. All right, do we have a motion on the substitute? Motion.
Move the substitute.
All right, all those in favor of the substitute, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Does any member have any questions or comments with respect to Senator Salim's bill? We got a motion and a substitute or a second to report the substitute. Clerk, open the roll. All right, clerk, close the roll. That bill reports with substitute 19-0. Thank you, Senator Salim. Okay, so next we've got our last block, which is Senate bills with similar House bills. I think two of them should be relatively easy, and then I know Senator Hashmi had wanted to speak to her bill. The first one is Senate Bill 358, patron Senator Van Valkenburg. The Department of Professional Occupational Regulations definition of a real estate broker. This is similar to House Bill 917 from Delegate Shin, which reported from this committee 22-0 and passed the full House 98-0. My understanding from council is that this Senate bill is grammatically correct and that we want to just pass this bill and not conform. Correct, Ashley? Okay.
Move to report.
Second.
All right, so it's been properly moved and seconded to report Senate Bill 358. Does any member have any questions or comments? If not, clerk, open the roll. Okay, clerk, close the roll. That bill reports 20-0. Next up, we have Senate Bill 463, patron Senator Hackworth, Board of Accountancy Powers and Duties, which is similar to House Bill 1337, Delegate Runyon, which this committee reported 20-0, and the House passed 99-0. This is in a similar posture where there were some amendments made in Senate Bill 463 that are not included in House Bill 1337, but the Senate version is the final version. And so with that, my understanding is that we would not want to conform this bill. So if, does any member have any questions or comments or concerns about the bill? Otherwise, we'd entertain a motion to report.
Move to report.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved to report Senate Bill 463. Clerk, open the roll. All right, clerk, close the roll. That bill reports 20-0. And we'll go at ease for one moment. Thank you very much. We're back in order. So our last bill is Senator Hashmi's Senate Bill 239, Social Work Licensure Compact, which is similar to House Bill 326, Delegate Glass, which this committee reported and referred to Health and Human Services 14-5, and the House passed 86-13. Speaking with the chair of Health and Human Services, we do not need to re-refer that back to that committee again. In this case, we do have an amendment that we would make to this particular bill in order to conform it to House Bill 236, and if council can report that amendment.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. After line 778 of the engrossed bill, insert a second enactment clause that reads that applicants for a multi-state license shall pay for the cost of fingerprinting required by the Social Work Licensure Compact as entered into by this act.
All right. Thank you, council. And just for some history on that one, the state police are fine with these different compacts that require fingerprinting, but they were getting a little fiscally stressed having to deal with all these new responsibilities, and so ultimately we were comfortable with moving forward as long as the applicant was paying for the fingerprint. Okay. Could we get a move? Yeah.
Second.
All right. It's properly moved and seconded on the amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All is opposed. All right. The bill as amended is properly before us. Does any member of the committee have any questions or comments? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Move to report. Second.
All right. It's been properly moved and seconded to report as amended. Clerk, open the roll. All right, clerk, close the roll. That bill reports with amendment 19-1. Mr. Clerk, do we have any further business before us?
That finishes our work.
All right, thank you, committee, for your work today. We will not be having subcommittees today, although we expect that we will have all of our subcommittees next week. Do I have a motion to adjourn? All right, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, we're adjourned. Thank you.